back to DFW Metal Mayhem, the most brutal podcast in the Metroplex. Happy week after Labor Day. Hope you enjoyed it. The rain is fucking stupid. As a pest control guy, fuck the rain. So we're continuing the trend of me reaching out to bands that I haven't seen before, or just reaching out more to the community than what I usually go to. From that post I made in DFW local support, I have the guys in Fall Europa on.
Woo! Thanks, man.
Yeah.
We're glad to be here.
So actually, before I made that post, about a month ago, or a month and a half ago, I made a post saying, hey, drop your Spotify links. I don't know which one of you dropped the Spotify link for me.
Probably Jackson.
Yeah, in the same group. And he's like, to give it a listen, I was giving everything a listen. Just to see, what do we have out there besides the crunchy death metal and thrash metal that I go and beat my head into every weekend. So I will say, I really liked the mixing on that release. I don't know who you went to
50-50. That's like all props to them. Those guys they do great work, and they're fun. Just like a quick shout out, they said that they'd love to record. They don't really record a lot of metal music, but they're looking to, and it's probably the most professional studio I've ever been to.
Dude, and the guys in there were really awesome.
Yeah, they're really talented
group
of guys out there who are trying to reach out to us, and they're right in the heart of Dallas, right by Love Field Airport.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Well, guys, introduce yourselves and what you do in the band for me, please.
Okay.
Who are you doing first?
I am Trey, and I play drums.
I'm Travis, and I'm on vocals.
I'm also Travis.
Oh, we shouldn't have said
I'm the first Travis. And I play guitar.
The 3 T's.
Yeah, and then Jackson is our other guitarist, and
he needs to drop that J and turn it to a T.
Yeah, right. Yeah, right. Taxon.
So Taxon is our
So our other guitarist, Taxon. He is actually just starting he's in orientation for Berkeley School of Music right now. So he is actually in Boston.
Yeah, he's much better than all of us.
Yeah, he came in the band actually right after we released the first EP, which was last January.
Okay.
And we put some feelers out there, and we had a few people come and audition, and he just blew it out of the water. He literally came and just by ear knew most of our album, and we were like, okay, this is easy enough. Kind of a fan who wanted to come join and end up being one of our best friends.
And the crazy thing to have somebody like he said, we put the album out right around 8.5 months ago or so, and to have somebody come to us and be so excited about playing our music was like a trip for us. It was insane.
And like I said, he's super talented because, like I said, he's got into Berkeley. So, but he's So he's actually the one who typically handles getting a lot of our shows. So we
just jumped in on the guy that's 18.
Yeah, he's the youngest member. He's 18 years old, and he actually we just recently played Summer Slaughter, and we got to play with Strawberry Girls and just a lot of really cool shows. And that was because of him, so he did really well.
Man.
Yeah, so he's not here today, and it kind of sucks, but I tell you about
Summer Slaughter, despite what anyone wants to think about the lineups that have been from then to now, and what people think about the event in general, that's still a really big deal for any local band to play.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
it was awesome. It was really cool.
I don't remember if they played it last year, but I remember a band called Suffer the Human Condition, who I've had on the podcast before. I think they played that fest. They play some big fest that comes around every year. And there was a picture of the crowd. And I mean, if you looked at that picture, you would have thought that they were a national sign band touring the country. They had massive people.
Well, dude, we played at 3 o'clock or something, and there were 250, 300 people there.
Yeah.
Easy.
Yeah, we played with the Human Experiment. Cam's band. Yeah, they played there as well.
Oh shit. Okay.
So it was pretty cool to have a couple bands. Our very first show ever was with the Human Experiment. Was with Cam, and it was at the Dirty 30. It was with Slaughter to Prevail, and that's so it's kind of cool to see them again playing a
Oh,
bigger
yeah.
show together because they were really super helpful when we first got in the scene.
Oh,
Cam was and stuff. So.
Dude, that day was crazy for like between the Buried and Me played, Veil of Maya, Born of Osiris. The reason I play metal music is because of Selkie's The Endless Obsession by Between the Buried and Me. Like that specific song got me into playing metal music. And we were like drinking our morning coffee that morning, sitting there. It was only us, the sound guys, and BT Band was sound checking on stage. And they played like a song or two. So we got to sit there knowing we were going to play a show, just drinking our morning coffee with a little private show by
10
them
a.m.
kind of. Dude, it was
TV.
insane.
Yeah. I remember when we opened up for Deicide back last year, we got to listen to fucking Dead by Dawn like before anyone else even came in because they were sound checking. I'm like,
awesome.
holy shit, dude, we literally got to sit in
Like a little private show.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
exactly what happened to us. Yeah, they were just up there. They were up there in their basketball shorts and like just got off the bus, 10 a.m.
Like
practicing.
Yeah, I'm like really hoping that when we open up for DRI later this year, that we can fucking sit into Beneath the Will or something. That made me really happy. Fucking hell. But to kind of backpedal real quick, because I kind of jumped the fence because I've been doing that recently. I want to get to know the history of Fall Europa. So take me back to day numero.
Oh man, that kind of rests on you.
Yeah, so this actually started as a band called I'm the Epic back in like 2007 or something like that.
I know that I was away at college whenever y'all like started doing stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it might have been like late 2008.
Okay.
Maybe.
So, which actually that band, which was a completely different lineup. I mean, it only had
He was the only
I was
one.
the only one in it, and if you listen to our first EP, it has a different vocalist on it, and that was Jake Visor. He's the one who wrote and recorded all that stuff with us for the first EP. And
But he played
he played guitar for us.
Okay.
So we, dropped that band and became Fall Europa, and when we did, Travis came to play guitar with us, and
Dude,
that
They came to me 5 days before they had a show, and they were like, "Hey, here's 6 songs that you don't know how to play. Will you learn them and play them by Friday?" So I sat there, like I recorded him playing on my laptop, and I just sat there for a week, just like trying to get everything down. It was fun.
That's a rush.
And I had never played a live show before on guitar, nothing. I just like jumped up there and kind of took off.
So that kind of Fall Europa was sort of a thing, sort of in the scene around that time, and then we took a hiatus, I guess you could say. I left for the military for 5 years and just got back about a year and a half ago.
Yeah.
So just right before, so we could write and record this EP and then release it. And so that kind of explains why we didn't do so much during that time.
Mhm.
Just I was gone, didn't do anything, and then now we're back here with music that he had been working on during that time that I was gone. Basically, this whole first album was just stuff from the past 5 years while I was gone. A bunch of, he had basically had the whole thing written.
Yeah,
And, I came back and just put drums to it, and then it kind of led into what you see today.
Yeah, so yeah, like he said, I had moved kind of close to San Antonio in this little town called Kerrville, Texas. And I was just writing music, there was no one out there to play metal music with. No one. Everything was like country music or folk music, or I played in this like power pop kind of band for a little bit just because one of my friends was in it, and I was like, I'm playing guitar, why not?
Power pop.
Yeah, that's the best thing I can come up with to like classify, because I have no idea what kind of music it was. But it was fun. But like you said, I was just kind of writing a whole bunch of stuff, and then one day he hit me up and he was like, "Hey, you wanna like get the band back together?" I was like, "We're getting the band back together."
Yeah.
So I just kind of came back to him and I was like, "All right, I have this song," and played something, and I was like, "I have this song," and I just like played him a whole bunch of stuff, and we just kind of picked and chose and
And then
came up with
that's
that.
how you got the EP, and
Yeah.
then after that, so after we released the EP, the vocalist that we had had a really good business venture out to California, and so we, of course, had to fill that spot, and it was, we put out some feelers on the internet, and it really just it didn't work out that well. So I knew him from high school from Forney, and I hadn't spoken to him in almost a decade. And I just knew, hey, back in high school, I used to scream, used to do stuff. So when you're looking for a person who does this as an adult, it's a little bit differently, right? Like, hey, are you still screaming? And are you in a band? Yeah, right. Say, hey, can you still make these noises? And so it was kind of like hard to like hit somebody up and like if they're not constantly doing it, right? And he was just like at first kind of like, I don't know, and then like the very next day he's like, all right, I'm in. And
he had actually auditioned for the band back when we were a band, like way back
in like 2008.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we all remembered him, and I mean he has a great name. So
But if you listen, our last 2 singles that we released were they're from the original EP. It's Ontogenesis and Muladhara, and both of those kind of feature him and kind of what you're gonna hear more on this next EP.
Oh shit, okay.
And I will say, we didn't say anything about a bass player.
Oh yeah.
So I kind of consider us as either having 4 members or 6 members, depending on how you want to look at it. We have 2 bass players that are basically like on standby. They don't practice with us or anything, but when we have a show, we're like, hey,
yeah,
can you play? And they just show up and nail it.
And there's some
every
really,
time.
Yeah, they're really talented musicians.
Shout out to Terry and Matthias.
Yeah, both of them are just really great bassists who know the material and just kind of like our some like I said, some really good friends who are great musicians and show up and kill it for live shows. So the only 4 permanent members right now are the 2 Travises and then Taxon and I. Taxon and Trey.
Hey guys, which bass player's gonna play out? No man, let's fucking figure it out.
No,
we literally just like
shows up 5 minutes
text both
before
of them. Well, dude, that's what happened with
Go Terry, can you come?
Yeah, exactly how
he
it
hadn't
was.
played
First,
with
like,
us in a
Summer
while.
Slaughter.
Yeah, he hadn't played with us in a while, and we called him like 2 days before Summer Slaughter, and we're like, hey, come to practice tonight and play Summer Slaughter. It's like, I'm there.
Yeah.
And he killed it.
Yeah, he did
Yeah,
a great job.
He killed it.
Yeah. It's kind of funny how you were talking about how you got Travis on vocals. That's how I got our original drummer.
Really?
It was the same way. It's like, dude, I remember you were a really good drummer. Have you kept up with it?
Yeah.
And he's like, hey man, we'd like to do this, and it all worked out eventually. Though he's no longer in the band, but I don't know, dude. It's so cool when you start a band, because like back in high school, you had your circle.
Yeah.
Your circle could mostly, like, if you look at like actual like boring statistical shit that makes you go to sleep. Most of your circle actually varies on same music taste, especially in high school.
Mm-hmm.
And so, it's actually more common than I thought when like you're running through ideas of members. Like, fuck, you remember that one dude who fucking...
It's true, yeah. It's hard to try to find
Dude,
someone
when we were looking for another guitarist, he was like, dude, I knew this guy named Ken that used to play guitar, maybe we call him.
Yeah, it's weird, and it's like, this is, out of all the people that we actually hit up, like, from ideas like that for members for guitar, bass, and everything, he's the only one that actually, like, worked out, like, seamlessly. Not only that, but he showed up, he made this idea, like, fully came on board like maybe a week before we had a show, a pretty good show, and it just seemed like since we had known each other in the past, I feel that we were just talking about this on the way over here. One thing that we have working for us is that we all have familiar chemistry because we all used to know each other back in the day, and it's been a long time, but it's really easy to come back in the writing process and work as a band. Because we already knew each other.
And it's kind of funny to talk about music we used to listen to, like we'll say stuff, like we were freaking out about Between the Buried and Me and all that at Summer Slaughter, like watching them, and then we look at Jackson, because I'm 28, y'all are,
27.
Yeah,
25.
We're all basically a decade older than this kid. And we were freaking out about Between the Buried and Me, and he was like, now who is that again? Like, get out of the band, go! Just get out!
I remember when Between the Buried and Me blew the fuck up, especially when I was like, in high school. That shit blew up, and everyone was wearing Between the Buried and Me shirt.
Oh yeah, man.
It was always
For
cool.
good reason.
Yeah, no, it's always great to see when a band really blows up and like you were there for it. You were
Oh,
there, you
yeah.
saw it happen.
Yeah,
It's
that's
like watching Colors videos, like as they were coming out like one a week and stuff when they were putting them out, dude.
Bro.
Yeah, I think that's why it was such a big deal for us for Travis, or at least Travis and I, because we I mean, I know it's a big deal for everyone, but me and him have been like doing this ever since like 2008.
Yeah.
So to actually come back and that's basically, I think, when Between the Buried and like kind of blew up, right?
Yeah.
So to actually be able to play a show with him now, it's just like, oh my god,
It's full circle. Like,
yeah, it's full circle
remember-
basically.
I remember when Death Angel made a comeback because they had stuff way back in the day, like kind of like the late 80s, early 90s, and they got a really long hiatus because a bunch of shit just happened, and then I think they made a comeback like in the later 2000s, and I didn't know anything about them at the time, but then I heard Thrown to the Wolves, and I'm like, holy shit, what the fuck is that? And like it blew the fuck up. It was so good.
Are you a Cynic fan?
By
chance?
I haven't heard, honestly.
Cynic? Okay.
No.
You know the band Death?
Don't worry, I don't.
Oh yeah.
Death. It's the same people from Death. It's
Oh
So
shit.
it's but it's, I mean, Cynic is old, but it's the same original members from Death. It's Paul Masvidal and Sean Ryan.
Don't look at me.
Sean Ryan. I think. Sorry, I should know this.
That's a band that has done no wrong. Death was a band that did no wrong.
Oh yeah.
That was a band. Every album was just
well
flawless.
So Cynic is definitely like they came when they first became Cynic from Death. They made the transition from Death to Cynic. They wrote this huge, amazing album called Focus, and if you've never gotten the chance to listen to it, man, you'll love it. If you like Death, you'll really like it. And then they took this like 8-year hiatus, like exactly what we did.
You said hiatus a lot already.
Dude, that's my favorite word. I just found like
coagulate.
You know what? No, coagulate. Yeah. No, the reason why I like that word is because we had somebody write a review on us, and they use it ever since then.
Yeah.
Yes. I'm like, hell yeah. Hiatus sounds like some kind of bug. Anyways. But they basically did the same thing, right? They came out with this first album and then like took this big break and then did the same thing. That's the closest thing I can relate our band to.
It's also I also remember right around the time when Between Mary and Me blew up. I also remember when the Black Dahlia Murder blew up.
Oh yeah.
God, the fucking music video, the bowling alley throwing each other. God damn, dude, that was a fucking time to be in high school. Holy shit.
Yeah, Joffrey Cowboy just came out and they're like, that's another funny thing. Everyone's like, holy shit, their drummer's only fucking 18. Like, fucking shit. And I don't know, now that doesn't seem so weird that we have an 18-year-old.
Shit, I remember. See, it's relatable. Actually bringing up Death Angel when I brought him up. Actually, their first album, The Ultraviolence, the drummer was 12.
Are you kidding?
Wow.
12-year-old. Wow.
Yeah, man.
I'm gonna have to go listen to that.
I think to this day he is
if he's
the
better
youngest.
than you, don't feel bad.
I think to this day he is the youngest musician that was ever recorded in the Philippines, from the Philippines.
Wow.
Yeah, like
that's awesome.
Yeah, but I don't think he's still in the band anymore. But like that album kind of blew up a little bit because that's when kind of like the whole like late 80s was definitely thrash dominated because you had all like huge, because it just came off the golden era of thrash, and then you had all these bands just pop up that because holy shit, the year before fucking Peace Cells came out and Master of Puppets and Rain and Blood, and everyone's like, fuck, we gotta do that. And then you just get all these bands, and Death Angel was just one of those bands that just fucking tore it up. But kind of want to go back to you guys because that's a fucking touring band. They live in nice houses and shit, and have families, and they don't eat Totinos. We do.
Fuck yeah.
I just did.
I feel my ramen, man.
Hell yeah. But I kind of want to get. Okay, so I kind of already know that Between the Buried and Me plays a really big role in this band. When it comes to influences, but I want to get into other influences. Like other musicians, like other bands. Like what do you think kind of shapes Fall Europa?
So you start. You haven't said much.
Yeah.
Mr. Fall Europa.
So oddly enough, when me and Trey were hanging out in high school, he introduced me to Periphery, and yeah. So like I just happened to be like at the mall. I saw their album at Hot Topic, so I bought it. And like as soon as I put it in, I was kind of like entranced, and I had never heard anything like it before.
That intro to Insomnia just pulls you in.
So, vocally, like, Spencer Stello has a huge influence on me. Like, I don't think I could ever be anything close to that, but just like, and even, I mean, Periphery 1 was not his own stuff, really. I mean, it wasn't his arrangement. So, seeing him transition from Periphery 1 to Periphery 2 and kind of find his own style, that I'm kind of in the same journey myself. I'm definitely not the same vocalist I was whenever they knew me, so I'm trying to, like, refine myself and trying to, like, find the proper tone that is me, basically. So definitely Periphery has a huge impact on me, and Veil of Maya, oddly, it's like Veil of Maya and One of Osiris are the New Rain, and like
oh yeah, dude. The New Rain is just
that's
OG right
didn't
there.
Legion play that show as well?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
They were there.
Fuck, Gray Man Mechanics, best song of 2016. Holy shit, debate me on that one all day long. That song was so fucking dumb when it came out. That was so ridiculous. I love those guys. I remember seeing them, was it Metal Blade 35 year anniversary show in House of Jews? When fucking $11 for a beer.
Yeah.
You can't fucking leave. You leave the venue, you're done.
I was like, wait a second.
You can't go out for a fucking
You really just did it?
Yeah.
That's a good one.
But I remember them playing that night, and there was like a weird pseudo mosh pit that started, like the people who really don't know how to start a pit, but they really want to.
Yeah.
And like I was kind of like walking, I didn't even realize, I kind of got like jaw checked a little bit.
Oh,
and, like
shit.
my jaw was kind of like bruised, like right here. It was kind of weird, like do this.
Yeah.
But none of them were there when Goatwhore came on, that's for sure.
yeah.
But I think Whitechapel played that too. I think they were like the headlining band on that.
Yeah.
And I remember that because that was the first time I saw 3 guitar players on one stage, and I'm like, that's a thing that people do? 3 guitar players, man. Like how many, like the fights that have to happen in that band. No, I want to do this solo next. I want to do this riff. Like, fuck, that seems like a lot of head work.
They work pretty damn well together though.
Yeah, dude, that is one thing that. Hold on, we'll talk about that later. Influences.
Sorry, it's all my fault.
So
No, dude, I could talk about
same here.
Periphery forever.
Periphery,
Yeah,
Veil of Maya, especially, dude, like their new vocalist is excellent. Like, not to say that the old one wasn't by any means. So there's kind of like there's a nice balance there, because like I like ID's kind of screams, like the ID albums kind of screams, and then you add the newer stuff.
Clean vocals.
Yeah, with the clean, like I like that. And then going back to Born of Osiris, like the like when he was screaming like that in those albums, in those first couple of albums, I didn't really hear anything, like it's not only his tone, but like his style of how he was putting everything down was very like upfront and in your face, and that's what, I mean, us as a band, I feel like we're not just kind of like sit back and chill. There's chill parts in our stuff, but I mean, like, we want you as much a part of it as we are, so like I feel like that's what Born of Osiris in those albums was capable of doing.
Oh yeah, that exactly. That album right there used to get me riled up when it first came out. You want to talk about like fucking teen angst and shit? Gotcha. Ooh man,
dude,
driving anywhere I was ready for a fight.
At Summer Slaughter, I walked outside and I came back in when Abstract Art was playing, right at the little keyboard part, before it goes in. And dude, like I was just, off my own head, just like calm, been outside, just kind of walked back in, and I hear that keyboard part. I'm like, all right, I have something to do on the other side of the crowd, but I'm getting there through everybody. Oh, dude, it was one of those things that forever will just, I can hear that keyboard part and go, no.
Oh yeah, you're like Halloween.
Yeah.
So between the bear and...
Oh no. Okay, I was about to say, influences are different for me. Because I'm not really just like, oh my god, this drummer is just amazing. I really care more about the band in general.
Mm-hmm.
And I know for me and Travis, for a writing, like influences, when me and him try to get ideas, Misery Signals is like one of the biggest influences for us writing wise, I think. I mean, they're one of the biggest metal bands that like didn't get enough attention, I feel like, ever. Like, I don't see why people aren't just obsessed with them. They're incredible. Their drummer's incredible, and they still to this day are putting out badass music.
I feel like you have to talk about like Tesseract
And
Contortionist.
Okay, so and then as well, drums and just their writing strategy in general for progressive music right now. Tesseract and the Contortionist are just like, I'm obsessed with them. They're amazing. They're amazing bands.
And they both show you maturity, like from like their.
Oh yeah.
Dude, like those are two bands that have matured a shitload. Like, granted, they've gone through a couple of vocalists and like.
Oh yeah, but the original members in general, they're like music, like they really sit down and like the music theory is there. Like they'll even explain it to you on YouTube videos afterwards, like how they, like their writing process and everything. But if you want to hear something, you know, challenging time signatures and something that like basically takes your emotions through a whirlwind, go listen to a Tesseract song or the Contortionist, and then it's just, you're going to be blown away. You listen to it 5 times and notice something different.
Yeah.
And like something that an instrument is standing out in differently. Because they're both pretty large groups with like keyboardists and like other interesting like production value wise. Like their production value of both those bands, which is funny enough. They were recorded by Jamie King, same guy that records Between the Bear to Me. Like that's where he got his popularity, and that's actually where hopefully, you know, we're going to be recording our next EP.
You actually see a lot of maturity when it comes to these newer metal bands.
Oh yeah.
Especially the ones you're talking about, is because especially in that progressive type style of music, is, you know, since you're always, you know, wanting to change your ideas about how you approach what you're doing, you're always getting a constant influx of groupthink.
Mm-hmm.
And what that does is that it not only mixes in stronger chemistry, which is the most important thing a band can have.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Ever. It also insinuates innovation, and it incentivizes the need to outdo yourself from the last time.
That's exactly, and that's why talking about influences. That's exactly why I think you're gonna hear like a huge difference in our.
A little bit.
Like you're not hopefully unrecognizable between this first EP and what we're trying to bring to you early of next year.
Okay.
Because I mean,
it's a little bit heavier.
Like I said before, all this first EP was really just all Travis writing it. Travis Taylor over here, our guitarist, and all of us kind of like helping him complete his idea that he had for these songs, right? So this one is definitely way more of like a collective thinking. You know, we have a new guitarist, Jackson, so he's writing parts now. He's a new vocalist, so you're gonna hear, you know, new kind of handwriting his own stuff, and then he's also gonna be playing keys, which we've never had before. And like in the first album, you never hear like, you know, any solos or anything like that. That's
There's a good reason for that.
Right.
And that's about to change.
So, quick question: as a vocalist,
Yes.
I have done both techniques when it comes to songwriting. When I say both techniques, I mean I've had lyrics pre-written, and then when people like write music, I try to throw it in there and make it
Play
work.
around. Yeah.
Or I just let the you know, my boys do what they do best and create some stompy shit for me, and then I hop in and try to throw in some words after the fact. What works better for you?
So, kind of in the mindset of like, nothing is by any means off the table. So, something I found out recently that helps me quite a bit, and we had the luxury of having a great way to demo stuff out. So like, Trey and Trav can like record stuff and then throw it to me while I'm still at home. I could throw it into Studio One and play around with keys and trying to figure out what notes I feel like should go where for certain melodies and stuff. So say they're playing some C chord, I can figure out the third of that C chord and place it in here and kind of figure out where I want to go. What are you laughing at?
No,
Just we're able to take a more like with this album a more technical approach.
Yeah, well, and that's what I was saying. Nothing's off the table. Like I'm.
Well, I mean, for this one, you kind of came up with the idea, and then did you just like find a way to describe or like to venture off of that idea based on the song, or did you like have? Hey, this
I mean,
Fire me
that's
for
what he's
my
asking.
fucking job.
What?
Fire me for my job. This guy.
No, I just think that's a little more like what he was asking. Like, did you? Because it's gonna be kind of a concept record.
Yeah.
This next thing.
Okay.
So he already had the idea, and I feel like that was partially based on like where the music was going right then, and then partially based on animes we were watching and stuff. You know, whatever.
Yeah, there's gonna be like he said, the whole thing, the concept behind it and all is gonna be kind of cool. Little story to follow along with some
hopefully
long goal
hopefully we can
objectives here
have
with
some
our
parts
next stuff.
That's why when he was talking like heavier, this particular album coming up, like this is kind of a darker beginning to a higher revelation coming later.
Okay.
Yeah. So this is supposed to basically be the darker side of the story in this album. So it should
Which
be
is nice because
Our makeup before the album.
yeah, basically. So it's definitely going to be a lot more powerful, a lot heavier than what you've heard previously. So.
Alright, so now we got in all the deep shit, now we're gonna go to the really basic shit.
Alright, cool.
And I told y'all this before I start the episode, I just need to say it again. Being a progressive metal band, I always look for the weird shaped logo, and you have it. Thank you.
Shout out to Supernova Skin Art. Jaime Rodriguez, him and his wife created all of our album artwork and that logo.
Supernova Skin Art sounds like a really badass tattoo parlor.
And
they are.
Actually, I've got all my work done by them.
bounce, chicka, bounce, bounce,
Oh,
Check
yeah.
this out. So, I've got
Shit.
I got this right here. He, like I said, he created our album work. So the whole trippy album work that we did. This is kind of
Hell yeah.
his inspiration. But yeah, he does great.
Okay.
He does great, tattoo work. He does great digital artwork as well.
Hell yeah. It's always good to have a guy in your sleeve like that.
Oh yeah, he's
I didn't even realize it. But yeah, okay.
I see.
Woo! That's a stepdad joke right there. Write that one down.
So we joked around about, cause the names for our songs, our old vocalists had come up with them, and there are some of these things where people are like, what does that word mean? So we were thinking about going real simply the next one, and we were just gonna call it the Stepdad EP, and name the songs like Glenn and Jerry and stuff like that.
Yo, bro, have you heard Fall Europa's new EP, Stepdads? That song Glenn is fire. Yeah. Next one.
Frank. Oh shit.
Fucking Frank, man. See that breakdown in Frank? That was hard.
The fucking progression in Fred.
20 years later, Fall Europa's high point was their stepdad.
Bro, great shit for a documentary. Oh shit, there you go. I've always wanted to start a fucking ridiculously stupid crossover side project called Memes.
Nice.
Memes are me.
Yes.
And just like have all the songs be about dead memes.
Oh,
And have
I forgot.
and have like the intro of it be like that fucking Ugandan knuckle scene where we're
Yes!
you know the way over
You know the
That'd be the fucking opening or some shit. Oh my god. Have you seen that one video where it's like a minute and a half long of him cutting it and looping it?
No.
It's like,
Yeah. That's actually, we've always wanted to start a song like that. Doug Dig It Down. Oh no, the Doug Dig It Down.
There's
Doug Dig It Down.
honestly, so I was getting into politics. This isn't really getting into it, but a lot of bands in the scene love using Alex Jones clips as intro pieces.
yeah.
Great.
Turning the friggin' frogs here.
Synax uses the when he talks about no. I mean, Synax does use. I believe they do use one, but I'm thinking about them using. I don't know if you heard about him. This guy named Joshua Fierstein. He's like a YouTube evangelicus and all this shit. One of those straight typical gun-toting conservative dudes on Facebook. Yeah. He has a piece on what happens in abortions and shit, and a Steinax uses it, and he gets into great details, rip them up, tear their limbs out through a vacuum,
What
and
the fuck?
yeah, dude, yeah, dude, it's this 20-second clip they use at the beginning of the song and just fuck it up, dude. It's hilarious. I love it when people take just ridiculous off the wall shit.
I like when the Faceless put that call about Area 51.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Their song,
I
man,
remember
that shit.
Yo.
You can just hear the fear in his voice. Area 51.
Y'all, I don't know if y'all saw the video or not. It went kind of viral. I don't know if you guys know Steven Mashburn from I Am Destruction or not, but I Am Destruction is probably the band that is putting everyone to sleep in the scene right now in 2018 because they released an EP. They got signed Unique Leader, which is really hard able to get onto because they only take a couple bands like every couple of years or some shit from what I heard. Steven actually had the opportunity to fill in vocals for Ingested on a countrywide tour, and he went to that. I think the Faces played the Death Fest recently. That was in I don't remember. I think was it New York Death Fest? I'm not sure. I don't know exactly where it was, but he got video of Michael Keane playing. And you can
I did see that.
He was just so gone.
Oh, man.
Gone,
Yeah,
dude.
he was fucked.
Yeah, dude.
All fucked up on heroin, man.
Yeah, dude. And Mashburn,
That's why no musicians want to work with him right now.
I love the Faceless.
I
love the Faceless.
I
just want to put that up.
They're I'm not like the biggest fan, but they are definitely extensively talented.
Yeah.
And but man, when Bryce Butler has a problem with you.
Yeah.
that's
There's a reason they've gone through
together.
so many members, man.
Because Bryce is super sweet.
Yeah,
Such a
he's good.
fucking sweetheart. I swear to God.
Yeah, he's a cool guy.
Yeah, so I was like, man, when he says he's out.
Dude, I'm really looking forward to Lizard Professor's new stuff. The
Yo.
band he plays in here.
I was supposed to see them at one point. They were gonna play with Asylum during Asylum CD release show last year, and I guess they weren't able to play. They had to drop off, and ever since I've just never seen them on a flyer.
No, dude, I've talked to Gannon a little bit here and there about possibly doing stuff, and I talked to Dustin a little bit about doing stuff. They're two guitar players, and they said they're not trying to do anything until they put out their next album that they're working on.
That sounds like what Incinerator's trying to do.
Yeah, they put out a few videos of some clips of new stuff and stuff like that, and I know at least used to on Gannon's Instagram you can see a whole bunch of their guitar work and stuff like that.
Yeah, I actually think it's a good thing when you see bands kind of take a step back and they do that. I bring up Incinerator again. I had Christopher on about a month and a half ago. It's like one of my favorite episodes I've ever recorded, so go watch that shit, please, because holy shit, that dude is a fucking gold mine of information. I remember Incinerator's taking a pretty long break too, and they kind of want to, and the reason why is, they want to, when they come back, they want to come back with something fucking strong.
Yeah.
They want to have something this is why we've been away for a while.
Yeah.
So I completely get why Lizard Professor's thinking that same thing.
Yeah.
Because they want, when they come back, they want people to fucking know that we're back.
Oh,
yeah.
Here, and this is proof.
Dude, and some of the stuff I've heard, that's exactly what's going to happen.
For sure.
What's gonna happen?
Hopefully we can grab that first show.
Yeah, no way. All right, guys. I need to find out what upcoming shows you have. I also want to find out what your plans are for the rest of this year and what your goals are for 2019.
Yeah, October 26th at the Old Door, 2513, Deep Ellum, with Last 10 Seconds of Life, Bro Job. Who else?
Bro Job.
Bro Job, yeah. We're speaking of Bryce Butler.
Oh my god.
Who else?
So
yeah, last thing
we got the show.
Last
There's one more, and we're sorry,
Bro Job.
whoever you are.
Something to Fall. Yeah, I'm super sorry. We just actually got put on the bill yesterday.
Okay.
So we just got asked. So October 26th, hit us up if you want tickets for that. And then
November 23rd, yeah.
November 23rd with
Aesop,
Aesop.
Monolith Singer, Vanity Affair.
that one's gonna be fun. It's gonna be.
It's at Reno's.
Yeah, it's at Reno's.
Ooh, Reno shows are great.
Yeah, so that
Reno's
one's
is a great
and
venue.
it's actually with a band that's getting. Local band, that Aesop band, they're getting some popularity, and they seem like a really cool group of guys.
Most definitely.
So it's gonna be
And girl.
and girl. Yeah, they have a girl vocalist. But I think that's gonna be like all the people that are coming out. The Monolith Singer us, Vanity Fair, then that's going to be just a straight up banger. So if people can come out to that one,
I'm trying to make that out. Reno's is like my second home.
Dude, it's going to be a lot of fun. So, and if y'all need tickets for that too, please hit us up on Facebook.
Support local bands, buy local tickets.
Please, yeah.
Buy DRI tickets because I sell those on sale.
There you go.
Please.
There you go.
Pay to
Me
play
and Jackson are
states.
singles, so see us after the show. Support local music is what I'm trying to say.
Besides those shows, though, for the rest of the year, we're not, unless something big pops up, we're really trying to focus on this next EP. So hopefully 2019, like early 2019.
That's what we can expect.
Yeah. Well, last year we released this EP in January, and so hopefully sometime between the beginning of next year, January, February.
Staying busy. Well, I like it. Guys, thank you so much for doing this.
Dude,
Thank you. Yeah, thanks for having
I
us.
really appreciate it. As I said before, I didn't expect anyone to take on the call when I put it out. I'm happy I was proven wrong. Was able to fill 2 months worth of dates.
Yeah, man.
That's awesome.
You guys, you guys are part of the reason why this shit still keeps going. So I'm happy to have you guys support what you're doing, and it's cool that even if it's just one fan of yours that has never ever watched the podcast before, this is their cherry popper, and that this is probably like, oh shit, they had all these other bands on. Let's do some fucking research and fucking click it up.
Dude, that's what I did. That's how I found Superhero, Supervillain, and like all the other people that you had on.
God, that drummer at Superhero Supervillain, that dude's guitar. I love him though. He's such a charismatic guy. So guys, thank you so much for again doing this for me. I appreciate it.
Thanks, man.
Of course.
Thank you.
Anytime.
We also, I just want to make another shout out. We also just had a music video dropped yesterday.
Oh shit.
It actually, like brand new music video
on YouTube, which is also tied to yours. Your MR suggested on our YouTube. So
Whoa!
Yeah, so
make sure we did that yesterday.
Yeah, so if you can, we came out with 2 music videos this past month, and we've been posting them around. But if we actually plan to have a lot of really cool content, like some drum playthroughs.
So make sure you subscribe.
So subscribe.
Click, comment, subscribe.
Like, comment,
Oh,
subscribe.
and then the second thing is, if you don't want to do that and you just want any kind of information about us, shows, videos, whatever, you can literally just go to falleuropa.com, and we actually have our own website. You can check out everything you want about us on there.
Boom, watch those videos, go to that website.
Spotify, YouTube.
Tickets, and Spotify, YouTube, all that crazy shit.
Yeah, man.
Support these motherfuckers. Again, guys, thank you.
Thanks for having us.
This has been DFW Metal Mayhem, the most brutal podcast in the Metroplex.